Assalamu alaikum everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today I'm going to teach you how to draw 9 and 10 hertz fashion illustrations or fashion croquis. So if you are new to this channel, I would like to ask you as a request to just subscribe our channel so that you can enjoy our daily videos related to fashion designing, textile designing, graphic designing and photo editing. So now starting with the fashion croquis first. If you are new to the field of fashion designing and you haven't heard this term before, it is very important to understand the terminologies first. A fashion croquis is basically a flat, well proportioned male or female illustration or a drawing that helps us to draw a dress or a sketch that is easily to understand, or we can have a better design understanding on that. Like, let's just suppose if you are going to draw a high-waisted skirt that is mid-thigh length, or any frock or shirt that is below knee length or above knee length, or any sleeve design or variation, any drapes that you want in your design. So these illustrations, these croquis will help you to perfectly draw the sketch that is required according to your theme, that fits your theme. So fashion illustration is considered to be the first and the most important fundamental step in the process of fashion designing. But before starting a fashion sketch, before drawing a fashion illustration, it is very important to understand the human figure. Like, Allah Ta'ala has made us in a beautiful way. Our human figure, our bodies are divided very proportioned. All our parts are equal and proportioned. Okay, so the total height of an average human figure is 8 times the length of the head. It varies from kids to children's, or from taller to shorter person, but it is an average measurement according to the average height. Like, the average height can be called in fashion female models like 5'6" to 5'7", 5 foot 7 inches. Okay, so if you talk about fashion figures, or if you have seen fashion figures, fashion illustrations before, you must know that fashion illustrations are skinnier and longer. So the proportions of fashion illustrations are usually divided into 9 and 10 hertz, but some people may exaggerate it to 12 hertz, 13 hertz and more, because in fashion sketching the legs are elongated, the neck size is elongated, and so is the waist, and this happens just to create a more prominent display of the dress that we are going to sketch, that the parts that we want to highlight in our dresses, and to make our illustrations look more beautiful. So now before starting, we need some basic stationery items like a scale, a clutch pencil of 0.5 to 0.7 size, and an eraser just in case we mess up anything or we need any correction in our illustration. Okay, so today I will teach you both 9 hertz and 10 hertz illustrations, so that you may know the difference between the both at the same time in a same video. Now for this, I am taking a blank white chart paper, sorry, not a chart paper, a plain sheet, and I am going to draw a straight line in the center of this sheet like this. I hope it is clear in the video as well. Okay, so now on this line I will take 9 hertz measurements. How I am going to take 9 hertz measurement on this straight line? We have two options. Like, I can divide this total line into 9 equal parts, or usually what I do is I take 1 inch measurement according to A4 and A3 sizes sheets. Okay, but if you are going to draw the illustrations on a smaller sheet or on a bigger surface like chart papers, or you want to draw it on your wall, then these measurements will be changed. like if we talk about on smaller scale, you can take the measurements in centimeters, while in bigger size, like if you want to draw it on your wall, then you have to take measurements into feet maybe, or you can take like 5 to 8 head 5 to 8 inch head measurement lengthwise, okay, so that your illustrations will look bigger on the wall. So in this, I am first going to take a starting point, and this one step is very important, that we have to leave some space above the head and below the feet, okay, we have to leave some space there, we don't have to start it from the edge of the sheet. Now after taking a mark on this line, I am starting to take 1 inch measurements, like our this point will start from 0 to 1 will make 1 head, and we will mark this up to 9 heads. Also in this, we will write down these numberings so that we don't forget on what step our waist, our knees and other part of the bodies are. And this is very important for a beginner to write down these steps, because I have seen many students that forgot to draw or wrongly draw a waist instead of 3 at 4, or the legs are looking disproportionate or abnormal. So it is better to write these measurements first, these numberings first. So where were we? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 and 9. Now as we have the complete 9 blocks, now we will start from 0 to 1, okay. 0 to 1 is the part for our head. From point 0 to 1 we will draw head. The head for a basic skeleton illustration will be an oval shape or an egg shaped, okay. Now from 1 to 1.3 or 1.5, that depends on the length of the neck you want to draw. You can draw it shorter till 1.3 and longer maximum till 1.5 inches. Now this 1.5 is basically from this point, 1.3 and 1.5. I am not taking it from here, I am taking it from point 0. This is where our neck will be, okay. On point 2 is the point of our armpit or armhole area. Below 2.3 is the measurement of bust line, okay. Point 3 is the measurement, is the point of waistline. Now the waist and elbow are at the same line, okay, they fall in the same line. You can see it in yourself as well, your waist and your elbow will be on the same point. So waist plus elbow is on point 3. Now first we will draw it till here, then we will extend it further. I forgot to mention shoulder point here, where the neck will end, we will start the shoulder point. Shoulder are a bit slanted, like downwards, we don't draw it straight. So we will draw it like this, but what will be the width of the shoulder? Now what I do is, I usually take 2 widths of the head as the shoulder measurement, like one head on this side, one head on this side, that will be the total width of our shoulder. But if you aren't good at making the face, and sometimes it happens that you are making a very round face, it seems very thick, or a very thin face, then your shoulders will be distorted as well. So what you have to do it, you have to take a measurement of 1.5 inches in total, like from this part to this part it will be 1.5 inches, and separately it will be 0.75 on each side. Okay, like this will be 0.75 from here and 0.75 inches from here. Like, let's just check it out. This is the same width, 1.5 inches. Okay, now after drawing the shoulders, what I will do next is I will start drawing the body from the armhole area. Like, this is the shoulder point and we have to keep the body inside this line. We don't want to extend it or want to make it look fatter, so we'll draw it inside the shoulder lines. Okay, this is the maximum width of our body. So we will start drawing a straight line from this part till this part on the waistline. This is our waistline and we will first draw two lines from armpit to waist. But what will be the width of waist? You can keep the width of waist as 1 inches in total or less than 1 inches, totally depends on the type of waist you want. Either you want it thinner or thicker. I usually keep it a little less than 1 inch, so it will be almost 0.7 to 0.8 inches. Okay, like this. Now I will join these lines to this part. Now the next step is drawing the hip curve. On point 4 we have the hips plus wrist. Now the wrist and the hip bone are at the same height or the same length. Okay, so starting from point 3 till point 4 is the hip measurement. But the question here is that what should we keep the width of hip? So the width of hip is equal to the width of our shoulder. So if we have taken our shoulder as 1.5 inches, we will simply draw a line of 1.5, like 0.75 on this side and 0.75 on this side for the hip width. Now this is our boning structure. This is our skeleton proportions or measurements. These are not the muscular proportions. Like, everyone has a different figure, so it varies from person to person while we are talking about the muscular structure, but our boning structure is divided in this way. So we will now join it with a smooth outwards curve, slightly outwards. Okay, slight curve in outward direction for the hip part. Now at point 6 we will draw knees. On point 8 we will draw ankle point. Now these 2 points are the main. Okay, you can skip point 5 and 7. At point 5 it comes thighs, and on point 7 is the calf. But these 2 points are important, knees and ankle point. Knees is at point 6 and ankle at point 8. So from point 4 we will draw a straight line towards point 6, and this must be a straight line. Please don't draw it in a curved way, because if you draw it like this curves, our legs will look fat. Okay, our legs will look thicker. So first of all we will mark 2 circles on point 6, on line 6. Okay, now we will join this point to this circle, and another 2 circles on point 8 for the ankle measurement. Now this is the part where you can give a curve, but the curve must be before line 7, not below line 7. Now this is the shaping of our illustration, and you must have to keep it in mind if you want to draw a good perfect female illustration. So starting from here we will draw a curve till point 7 and extend it in a straight line to point 8. Now this is the outer shape of our legs. For the inner shaping, what we need to do is we need to first mark a crotch point, the inner joining area of legs, that will be on point 4.3. Now this 4.3 is from here, like this is the first head, second, third, fourth, and 4.1, 2 and 3. This is the point where we will mark our crotch line, and we will start drawing the inner legs from this line. So again, following the same procedure, the upper leg will be straight and the lower leg will be curved from point 6 to 7 and straight from point 7 to 8. This process is same for legs and arms. In arms we also do this like drawing straight lines from shoulder to elbow point and curved lines from elbow to wrist point. Okay, so now starting with the arms first, this is our shoulder point, and from this part we will start drawing the arm. We won't extend it further, otherwise our shoulder width will get increased. Okay, so we need to start it from this point and we'll mark an elbow point as described before. Waist and elbow are at the same point. We will mark 2 circles on this line, and starting from point 2, like this was the area of our armpit or armhole. Starting from point 2, we will draw a straight line to point 3 and also from outer side shoulder point to point 3. Now we will mark another circle at point 4, not point 4.3, at 4 where the hips are. Okay, so in this area we will draw it in a slight curve line. The curve starts from point 3 and it gets straighter at point 4. Okay, so that is how our lower arm is. Now coming towards the bust line and the hands. The bust point is at 2.3, so we will draw a straight line at 2.3 and we will join it in a curved way from both the sides. Okay, now for hands, hands are from point 4 to point 5, so we will draw a straight line outwards till point 4.3 and inwards from 4.5 to 0.5. And for the thumb we will do it in the opposite direction. We will draw this line. I don't know why I drew this. Okay, so from this line to this and like this. Okay, we will read the detailed feet and hand sketches later in our videos. For this illustration, for a skeleton pose, you can either go like this, you can draw it like this. Okay, hands and feet doesn't matter in this illustration. The main thing in this illustration is learning the proportions of the basic 9-head illustration. So for feet, what I am going to do is, the way we write A, I am going to write an A on both sides of the feet. So this looks like a standing feet on a heel, and the length of this is 1 inch because of the heels that our illustrations are going to wear, or the or our models that wear heels while doing ramp walks. If you want to draw flat shoes or joggers or sneakers, whatever you want, you can reduce the length of the feet, like you can draw it till 0.8.5, but the width of these fingers will get increased. Okay, we will study feet and hands, and also the face proportions and details in different videos. Step by step we will do it. Okay, so now I think you must have a better understanding of 9 head illustrations, and with practice you will make a good grip on this. Now we will start a 10 heads illustration. Now what makes a 9 head and 10 head illustration different is, first of all, we will draw a straight line similarly like we did for the 9 head illustration. And I think I need to change the lead. Okay, so how I add a lead to my pencil is very easy. I thought I should share this with you as well. I press this part downwards towards the table and hold it straight on this. Let me zoom it a bit like this. Okay, and I will press it and it will go down very easily, only just by pressing this part on the table. Okay, so now continuing with our illustration, we will draw a straight line in the middle of the sheet, and now we will mark 10 inches instead of 9. This is the first thing that you will do. So starting with this area, we will mark it in the same way and write down the numberings along with this: 7, 8 and 9 and 10. Okay, now rest of the proportions will remain same, like from 0 to 1 is the head part, that will remain same. 1 to 1.3 or 1.5 is the neck part, that will also remain the same. Shoulder measurement will also be the same, 1.5 inches. Bust will be at the same point, 2.3. Now what we have to increase is the waist. The waist was at 0.3 in 9 heads illustration, so we will mark it at 3.5 in 10 heads illustration. So the waist will be on this point. Like this. Also you can mark bust point at 2.5 instead of 2.3 if you want this to be a bit downwards, but I usually mark it on 2.3. Now 4.5 will be the marking of hip line. 4.5, same way outwards, keeping the width equal to the width of shoulder. Knee point will also move half inch downward, like it will be on 6.5 now. Same is the case with ankle point, but no, ankle point will come at 0.9, not at 8.5. The lower leg will be a bit longer. Okay, so this is my way of drawing. Everyone has his own method or way of drawing. That's what I studied in my university, so I am following the same steps with a slight curve. We will mark it till 0.9. Now crotch point is 0.3 inch below the hip line, so we will mark it at 4.8. This will be the crotch area. So starting from this line, we will draw till knee and slight curved calf length till the ankle point. Now we will draw that A shape for our feet. Now as we have moved waist, hip line, elbow line, our arms will move the similar way. Just keep in mind only these steps, that waist plus elbow are at the same point, hip line plus wrist are at the same point, and we draw 1 inch of hands, like you can check it yourself, from wrist to the mid finger, because this is the tallest finger of our hand. Our hand is equal to the length of our head. Okay, so this is how our proportions are. So starting from the shoulders to the waistline or the elbow line, we will draw a straight line, and from point 2, that is the armpit line, we will draw the inner side of the arms. Now starting with a slight curve, we will draw the lower arms, and from point this 4.5 to 5.5 will be our hands, like on this point, and you can draw it like this in the beginning. Okay, so this is our 10 heads illustration. This is a bit longer than the 9 heads illustration. Now it depends on you that which will you carry for your further illustrations, but in start you have to practice both 9 and 10 head illustrations in the straight pose, and later on we will study how the arm movements and the leg movement works, and what are the proportions of faces, how to draw hairstyles or face features, and also yes, we will work on different dress mediums and drapes, that how to draw drapes, how can we draw collars, skirts, pleated skirts, ruffled skirts, different variations. Okay, so in this video if you have any confusion you can let me know, or if you want to share your illustration progress you can contact me via inbox or through WhatsApp or Instagram. All options are available. Okay, thank you for watching. Allah Hafiz.